Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk, second hour of Focal Point on the American Family Radio Talk Network. Brian Fisher is my name. Glad to have you in the conversation. 888-589-8840 is the number if you would like to call and join the conversation. And you can also communicate with us during the program by sending an email to focalpoint@afr.net, focalpoint, all one word, at afr.net. We monitor that email inbox during the program. By the way, another on the healthcare front, the IRS has finalized the rules on the individual mandate. So remember, they got rid of the employer mandate or gave a waiver for a year. That's gone for a year. President Obama had no authority to do that whatsoever, but went ahead and did it, unilaterally revoked the employer mandate for a year. But boy, they aren't backing away from the individual mandate. Who's getting hurt here? It's the little guy. Who gets the break? It's the corporations. It's the big companies, the companies that have more than 50 employees. They're the ones that get the break, at least for a year. Who gets hammered? It's the little guy. It's the guy that has to buy insurance on the individual market through these exchanges. And we saw yesterday 100,000 people in New Jersey, 100,000 people are going to lose their insurance under Obamacare because the most popular plan in New Jersey has low premiums, high deductibles. It's popular, especially with young people who are healthy and have relatively few medical needs. Popular with them. That program, that plan will be illegal as of January 1, and their health insurance costs are going to go up anywhere between 300 and 400%. But the individual mandate, there's no break there. There's no waiver there. They're going to stick it to those 100,000 people in New Jersey. Obama's going to stick it to them. They're going to be fined. They're going to be punished. They're going to be drilled. They're going to be lacerated. No give, no break. Who gets hurt? It is the little guy. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to look for a political philosophy that hurts the little guy, that drills a little guy to the floor, that nails a little guy to the wall, it is socialism. And we're seeing that with ChernobylCare, with ObamaCare. So the final rules are out on the individual mandate. No waiver, no give, no slack there. But on the other hand, this ChernobylCare thing is such a disaster that the Obama administration has put off another deadline. Remember, we've seen that they have missed 56% of the deadlines that they are required to meet by law. 56% of them, even though they're required by law, they haven't met these deadlines. They have missed them. Here's a story from Reuters. The Obama administration has delayed a step crucial to the launch of the new health care law. So this is, even Reuters says, look, this is crucial. This is critical. This is essential to this program getting off the ground. The Obama administration has delayed a step crucial to the launch of the new health care law, the signing of final agreements with insurance plans to be sold on federal health insurance exchanges starting on October 1. Department of Health and Human Services, that would be Kathleen Sebelius, notified insurance companies on Tuesday, it's yesterday, that it would not sign final agreements with the plans between September 5 and 9 as originally anticipated, but would wait until mid-September instead, according to insurance industry sources. The reason for the holdup was unclear. Sources attributed it to technology problems involving the display of insurance products within the Federal Information Technology System. So it's just another technology glitch. Remember, we have no assurance at this point, none, zip, zero, nada, none from the federal government that our private information, Social Security numbers, IRS information, we have no assurance from the federal government that that information is secure. They're not even going to test that program, that federal database hub. They're not even going to test it until September 30th. The next day, people are supposed to go to these exchanges, start divulging IRS information, start divulging Social Security information, and they will have absolutely no assurance from the federal government that that information is protected, that that information is safe. So ChernobylCare continues to be a total, absolute, complete meltdown. Here's a story out of Chicago. North Shore University Health System, one of the largest, biggest healthcare networks in the Chicago area. They are laying off 130 people. The layoffs are scheduled to start this week. So these people just got the pink slips in their box. Your history, you're out of here, and it's because of Obamacare. Now think about that just for a second. How alarming that is, because it's the healthcare system that is supposed to deliver health care to 30 million new people. Obama's plan is let's bring another 30 million people into the healthcare system. And what are doctors doing? They're leaving the medical profession. What are hospitals doing? This is multiple stories. I can't even keep track of the number of stories. We had another one on Monday or Tuesday. Another hospital network. That was in Houston. Played you the excerpt from the news story. They're laying off 49 people. And here is one of the largest in the Chicago area. They're laying off 130 people. Who is going to be around to provide health care for these additional 30 million patients? The hospitals are trimming staff. Doctors are leaving the profession. It is all set up to be an absolute huge monster train wreck. And I mean, this hospital system, they are directly attributing it to the uncertainties created by Obamacare. What they're saying is the healthcare system has looked for cost savings, quote, to ensure North Shore remains well-positioned to deal with the unprecedented changes brought on by the Affordable Care Act. So everywhere you look, the thing is just completely, totally, utterly falling apart. That's why the only way to go is defund this monstrosity. Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, those guys are on it. We've got to defund this thing. In fact, Republican activists are saying to John Boehner, look, you don't get on board this defund program, we're going to call this thing BoehnerCare. And I agree. I think we ought to start doing that in our local congressional districts and our states. If you got a senator that won't support defunding Obamacare, then call it after his name. Call it Corker Care up in Tennessee, or McConnell Care up in Tennessee, or Boehner Care if you're talking about the Speaker of the House. Your congressman, call it after his name if he won't get aboard the defund Obamacare program. Here's a story from Kentucky. Joe Bologna, the owner of a prominent Lexington, Kentucky restaurant. Interesting name for a restaurant owner, Joe Bologna or Bologna. He's going to have to reduce his business's hours of operation and cut employees both because of Obamacare. He's already closing his restaurant on Monday. On Mondays, Bologna said that he must save money because of the high cost of health care. Story out of Colorado, which is preparing for the October 1 launch of its new online insurance marketplace, expects bumps in the road. We're going to have 500,000 new customers, said Marguerite Salazar. Just think of how many possibilities there are for things to go wrong there. That's kind of an amazing thing to me. I mean, she almost sounds like she's happy about it. Just think of the possibilities. Just think of how many possibilities there are for things to go wrong there, like she can't hardly wait for that day to come. So that's the latest on the healthcare front, getting worse by the day. The closer we get, the worse that whole thing looks. We'll come back with your phone calls. We're going to shift and talk a little bit about this debacle in Syria when we come back. Focal Point AFR Talk. Glad to have you call in to talk about any of the topics that we have addressed today, including the civil rights era, the civil rights progress, and whether we ought to go into Syria, whether it's a good idea. I'll come back with some thoughts on that when we get back. Focal Point AFR Talk. Be right back.